All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Raiders of the Lost Flicks Live. I am back with my wonderful co-host, the professor himself, Flair X, and we're
Good
here to
evening,
talk about some
everybody.
Expanse. We are glad to be back. What's up, buddy? Long time no see.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you back in the Sunshine State.
It's been a couple of weeks, man, and without boring everybody to tears, here's what happened. The day that we were supposed to leave, a windstorm hit. And so it was 46 miles per hour wind in Illinois, which the advisory said high profile vehicles beware. So being in a Class A RV, that is a high profile vehicle. We weren't on the road for an hour before that thing almost blew off the road. So Guilty Syphos, welcome to the chat, buddy. So we had to go all the way back, drive a whole hour back, leave the next day. I had to reschedule all of the campground reservations on Thanksgiving Day weekend, which that was really fun. And then we hit the road, and the first day wasn't too bad, but the second day we spent pretty much the entire time in the mountains in Kentucky. Like just stuck up there. Just because people can't drive. There wasn't even any bad weather. It wasn't wind. It's just the fact that it was Thanksgiving Day weekend and people can't fucking drive. So we're stuck up there, just crawling through the mountains. And then by the time we got to our second campsite, it was in the dark and it was like a windy little road and shit that curves around and gets into the section. So I'm like, man, I'm not even gonna be back in time for Monday. So then I had to cancel last week's show. That sucked, you know. And then also all the LIW stuff got canceled because of the holidays and relatives showing up in other people's houses unannounced and things like that. So I'm like, whatever, man. We're doing this tonight. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here. I'm tired of talking about it. The holidays have been treacherous to say the least so far, and there's still a lot of them left to go. But I don't know if you got the news today. Actually, you probably did. But the first thing I want to mention, though, is I want to at least mention David Prowse. You know, I was always a huge fan of Darth Vader and Star Wars, you know, and I got this news. And honestly, I have to confess, I didn't even know he was still around. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of assume that people passed on a couple of years ago, and sometimes you don't really keep track. You know, David Prowse was kind of one of the guys that was, you know, kind of ostracized from the convention circuit for a while because he was saying things about, you know, Return of the Jedi before it was even out and kind of pissed off George Lucas, and he got banned from the conventions because he wasn't keeping quiet about what was going on. So he got kind of unfairly kicked out. But I always remember him, not just Darth Vader, but he had like a bit part in A Clockwork Orange. You remember that movie? He was
Oh,
the guy that
absolutely.
he carried the old man around in the wheelchair. That's if you ever wanted to see him without the armor and the costume and all that. He was the big guy. That was way before Star Wars, but those are the two things that I remember him from. And also, if you kind of go on Google and do search results for like, you know, test footage from Star Wars before they dubbed in James Earl Jones' voice, he did speak all the dialogue. He just was dubbed over. They kind of pulled the same thing they did with Ray Park. But, you know, rest in peace. Sorry you died from COVID-19, but I just wanted to mention that. You know, I had to pay him at least some respects. You know, lots of things happened while I was gone, so I had to play
I,
catch
I
up.
I still I can still see him on the bridge with Boba Fett. You know, the Imperial March playing. I'm sorry, that is one of the best scenes
Iconic.
in cinematography ever. Is that you know, no disintegration. I just, you know, he spoke so well with his body that James Earl Jones, I get, you know, why they dubbed in his voice because that's iconic as well. But I don't think Darth Vader would be Darth Vader without that man as a living, you know, uh, character. Pardon me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was just part of the ominous, you know, group of people that made Darth Vader happen. You know, I mean, like
Exactly.
when the villains are so complex that it takes a groupage of people to make. Jabba the Hutt comes to mind too. There was like three guys operating, and then another guy doing the voice. It's like Lucas villains are so complex; they have to be played by multiple people.
Yeah, I think Yoda was the only one that was one man, because he was small enough that he could manipulate everything. If Frank Oz was amazing,
Yeah.
as a character actor and voice actor for stuff.
But anyways, nobody came here to hear us talk about Star Wars. Rest in peace, David Prost. I hope I mean, he was, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's not like he had a lot of things that he did that, we can really talk about other than, those roles that he played. Not to mean that they weren't important. I mean, he was definitely a very gracious fan. The people I know that have met him had nothing but good things to say about him. So, rest in peace. But you're here to hear us fanboy about The Expanse. And I'm glad, because I've been dying to be talking about The Expanse for a long time, and I wanted to get back home so that I could be back in front of my green screens and be back on my good mic and everything, with all my studio lights, because I'm going to be reviewing those seasons, and we're going to have to rush. We're going to have to rush, Flair, because the new season's coming out December 15th. That's just around the corner, man.
Well,
this whole month has just
we've been
flown
waiting
by.
on you, my friend.
What's that?
We've been waiting on you, my friend.
I know. It's all my fault. It is, man. I wanted to get back home, and it took literally entire fucking month of November for me to get home and do this.
But you had good reason. I mean,
yeah, I know.
family's important. So none of us don't ever think that we held it against
It
you.
is what it is, yeah. But we
sure
are going to get through. We're going to get through the first three seasons. What we'll probably have to do is each review that we do, we'll review the entire season, and then we'll go into the next one, because we're going to cover those. And then, because my goal is I want to be able to review the new episodes as they happen. But the first thing I wanted to talk about first is the news that the real. No, not the. Do I want to do that one? Let's see. Ending. Hang on here. I guess this is as good as any. Like a lot of these articles have the same headlines, and I start losing track of. But The Expanse is ending after season 6, and actually, this is the article I want to use right here. I am a professional, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so good at what I do.
I'm such a professional. I eat my dinner on screen.
It's just been one of those days where we're trying to make these things happen as they go. So, Digital Spy, where are you at?
Well, it was a cold day in northern Idaho. So,
what was the temperature today, by the way?
It hit a whopping 41 degrees.
Aye.
That was warm. We got snow, rain, freezing fog. That was fun. But I wouldn't trade it for the world.
It's supposed to get down to 40 here, and then 35 tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
For Florida, that's cold.
Yeah. Oh, here's the one I want right here. Digital Spy. Okay, so I shared the wrong article. I apologize. I'm going to share the right article now, because I have all these tabs open here. It's been a while since I operated with 2 monitors again, so I had to teach myself all over how to do it. Digital Spy, The Expanse's fate after Season 5 revealed by Amazon. Now, this is one way to word it, but as I was kind of talking to Flair earlier today, for science fiction, going all the way to Season 6 is actually pretty good.
Well, it's been across, 2 platforms?
3? Actually, hasn't been 3? Because I know there was Sci-Fi and then Amazon, and didn't one of the regular networks have it first? Or was it strictly Sci-Fi?
No, just Sci-Fi. It started on Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi and then Amazon.
And they canceled it, and the fan reaction to it got Amazon interested.
There we go.
And Amazon took it over, and gave it the budget it deserved, and kept the characters together for what, 4 more seasons. And
So, the Expanse was canceled after season one on Sci-Fi Channel, correct?
okay,
I'm trying to remember. Was it 1 or 2 seasons that had been?
I thought it was two, but
That's
I
what I
may be
thought.
wrong.
Because you notice there's a dramatic shift after the first 2 seasons. It's like, oh, we're on Amazon now. We can curse and we can
Well,
have
they
nudity.
first, and they had such a better um budget to the computer graphics kind of went from N64 to holy crap, this is actually made on a computer.
See, I didn't think the graphics were too bad, and because I just recently, I've seen all 4 seasons. I'm rewatching them now so that when I review them, now by the way, this stream isn't going to be a full review. We're just going to be fanboying a little bit. You guys have any questions? Feel free to fire off in the chat as we speak. But I thought the first season had some pretty good graphics,
It
considering for
it did, because that's what sci-fi does, is it front loads. The second season started, they cut the budget for the computer work, and that's what happens. You look at Eureka, you look at Dark Matter, you look at a lot of these shows that sci-fi starts, and then they go, oh my goodness, okay, they're popular enough to get a second season, but we're not going to invest as much. And so, and then if they get picked up for like a third or fourth, that's when they start putting money back into it. And so, if it was always a conversation I had with a friend of mine about sci-fi. They make some great. They go up, because Canada, what was it? The Canadian Broadcasting Company, CBC, did some amazing sci-fi work.
yeah, Dark Matter was good. I watched the first season of that. I meant to go back and watch some more, and I just got sidetracked by something else. I think it actually was The Expanse that kind of
Well,
sidetracked me from
Dark
Dark Matter.
Matter,
I plan to finish it.
Eureka, uh, Continuum. I mean, they just have an amazing level of quality that they put into their work, and sci-fi, kind of piggybacked off of it. And for a long time, that's all I really watched was a lot of Canadian Broadcasting's shows, and and it was all on sci-fi.
They got to
And
be better than BBC, man. 'Cause,
well,
that's a whole other stream. Me complaining
oh
about the
yes,
BBC. There's not enough time in the day to even begin to
yeah.
talk about the
Let's not
awfulness
even
of
discuss Top
BBC.
Gear.
What's that?
And we could, I mean, there's a third stream if you really wanted to argue Top Gear.
Top Gear. You know, when my dog was alive, that was her favorite show. Whenever I put Top Gear on, that dog was just glued to the sofa.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. My dog used to love Top Gear. Like, I
my
didn't like Top Gear, but if I turned it on, the dog was always really calm and content, sitting on the couch, watching Top Gear on TV. As soon as
you'll
they
you'll
turn it off, dog starts acting naughty. You know,
you'll,
it's just,
you'll laugh at this. My cat loves hockey.
that's great. That's
She'll
great.
she'll sit. She'll literally sit over here and watch the TV. I was watching the Stanley Cup Finals, and she would be sitting in my in my. She'd be laying on my bed, literally watching the puck, and it was so funny.
That is
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, yeah. Rub it in that your Lightning won,
I'm
and
not.
my Sharks didn't get anywhere close.
They did good. They
Bastard.
did good. Come on. They did
No,
better
I
than the
didn't even get
Blackhawks.
close.
Yeah. I'm in Florida, man. Got to support the team. Got to support them. But anyways, so I don't consider 6 seasons of any sci-fi show post like 1990s to be any kind of a failure. I mean, Battlestar Galactica, I believe,
5.
5 seasons, which I like the way that Battlestar Galactica ended. I don't like to see a show meander. You know what I mean? It's like if you have a linear plot, follow it. get your point, get it done. Don't have bottleneck episodes. Do
Don't
your
have
thing.
filler.
Don't have filler because I just got done recently watched Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I just started Voyager because honestly, I've never sat and watched either one of those series before. I watched all of the Next Generation from start to finish when they were brand new, and I loved it to death. And I just never. I watched random episodes of Voyager and random episodes of Deep Space Nine. And I just wasn't feeling it, and I think part of the reason why I didn't feel it is if those particular shows, if you come in the middle of them, they don't really mean anything to you. You need to like follow the crew from the start to start developing some attachment to learn some things about them because they kind of drop feed information about these characters over the course of these episodes, even though they're all like linear self-contained stories within each episode. They still give you a little bit of backstory about everybody else, and once you start getting some of their backstories filled out, you start caring about these characters so that when they get to the really heavy moments, the emotional moments, they mean something to you. Otherwise it's like,
Hmm.
well, who are all these weirdos? I mean, why should I care about these people? But I'm kind of going through that with Voyager now. It's like, oh, okay, I start to get some of these guys now. I get where they're coming from. They're just things that I didn't know because I never sat down and watched it. But Battlestar was a great series. The Expanse so far, 4 seasons, has been a great series. Fantastic characters in this.
Literally the best sci-fi I have seen in a long time. I mean, they keep it true to the science side of it. It might be fiction, it might be fantasy, but damn, do they keep it close to what
They
new.
like to keep it rooted in reality. The last time I seen that done is probably 2001. I mean, when that came out, they wanted to be as scientifically accurate as they possibly could when it came to space travel. Like they were speculating a lot of things. Obviously, they totally missed the mark. We're not near as advanced as the people in 2001. By the time we got to 2001, we're still in the dark ages compared to that show. But that's the thing about science fiction is they've always, some science fiction they're more optimistic about our future. Like we'll be more advanced. We'll have flying cars and shit when we don't. But
Well,
because of
you've got the two visions. You've got Gene Roddenberry and his idealism, and you have uh, George Lucas and his more surrealism. At least that's how it's been explained to me by a couple of people. That you've got the dark and gritty universes, and you've got the idealism that you hope uh, as Abraham Lincoln, that the better angels of our nature pop through. And I, while you hope for that utopia, I, you know, I've always been a Star Wars fan because I believe in the dark and gritty because I've seen the dark and gritty. You
yeah,
know,
that's kind of what I like about the Expanse is when you meet these characters, these are people that are not immediately drawn to each other. I mean, they're all working on a they go and they mine icebergs out in space and they harvest them for water. I mean, it's a shit job, all right? And you and I have both had some shit jobs, okay? Or at least done some shit jobs in the military, and we know that when you work really hard, friendships are formed. You eventually bond, but most of these people really don't want to know each other. You know what I mean? They're
yeah,
they're thrown into an impossible situation, and that's what we like in our science fiction. We like to see stories about people working together to overcome adversity. You know what I mean? Through teamwork and problem solving. We don't get enough of that in science fiction right now.
we
It's
don't get good stories in
no.
general, and
But
and
when we want good stories, that's what we want. We want problem
exactly.
solving. We want interesting characters, interesting backgrounds, world building. So much of that is just replaced with like partisan politics and identity politics and violence just for the sake of violence, or like, oh look, this is a rated R channel, we can say fuck. Oh wow, I didn't want that in Star Trek. Did you? You know, I
No.
mean, it just feels weird. And if you're gonna put it in Star Trek, can you at least make it count? Can you make it matter other than just throwing it out there just to remind people that, oh, this isn't your father's Star Trek? It's like, yeah, my father's Star Trek actually had some intelligence to it. You know, eventually I'm going to get my parents into the Expanse because we kind of all everybody in my family has bonded over Star Trek over the years. We're able to watch the older episodes, the newer episodes, not the Discovery or Picard, okay, but I'm saying everything, from the original Gene Roddenberry series to the Rick Berman era Star Trek. We like those stories a lot. We like those characters. We bonded over those characters.
Hmm.
These are things that you like to talk about in a group setting. I get a lot of that from the Expanse. I do. And the reason I even got into the Expanse, God bless him, Nick Catan from the World Class Bullshitter says, dude, you really need to watch this show. I watched a couple of episodes. I was like, I don't know, I'm not really feeling it. And at the time, I still had a lot of different science fiction shows that I was watching. I didn't really need the Expanse. You know what I mean? Like I was still liking Doctor Who. Star Wars still showed some signs of promise.
Yeah.
I had other things. And
Signs of promise until it.
finally I got to a point to where there was nothing because everything had been destroyed. Doctor Who sucks. The Walking Dead sucks. Star Trek sucks. Star Wars is terrible. Okay, let's give The Expanse a try. And after I sat through it, I realized that the first season drags a little bit. And the reason it drags is because there's a lot of world building that has to be done. And
Well,
they're trying
yeah,
to they're trying to deliver it to you in a way to where you're not just bombarding the audience with information. So they unravel a little piece at a time, to show you how
there's
this world
world
operates.
building, but that is also because my introduction to the Expanse was the books. So I started with the first book, and literally the first season is the first book. It is it yes, it drags, but that's because you have to be introduced to so much intricacy within this universe that has what I love about the Expanse is it drops you into a full universe.
Fleshed out universe,
He has
very well fleshed out by that.
he
It's
built
our universe. It's our future basically.
yeah, but it's the future as he sees it. How people are, very much are.
Yeah.
Like nations in today. You have America, you have the prides, you have people who believe heavily in the pride of America. So you've got the Martians and the pride of their world. You've got the Belters who are kind of like I don't this pirate mentality of we're a collective, but we're also Belters. We do our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're independent. Believe me,
They're more
I
like
get
pioneers. I get kind of
different
a
right over there.
like a pioneer kind of a vibe from, but that's I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the things that attracts me to this show so much is that it is very political, but it has its own politics. It's not demonstrating things that are going on in your world right now, but it in the sense that this show happens, the politics that happen in the show remind you of something that would likely happen if this was our future. You know what I mean? You
Exactly.
mentioned people act like people that we know. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I like about it. There's
Well,
this struggle between these civilizations, between Mars and the Belt and Earth, and I love it. I love every
okay,
minute of it.
I'm a historian. I look. I was trained to analyze cultures and societies by how they died and how they lived, and you really see someone who is a student of history working in this universe because he I'm the author is eluding me who it is right now, but he's so very good at taking the psychological aspects of of how people work and not just exaggerate them, because so much sci-fi sometimes exaggerates the good or the bad aspects of human nature.
Yeah,
This is just human nature as it
that's what I
naturally.
like about it. That's one thing that I like watching Star Trek right now because Gene Roddenberry had a very optimistic vision of the future and humans overcoming adversity. I this year alone I suffer from a lack of optimism, and I feed
Don't
off
we
of that
all?
because I want those stories. I want to be I want some kind of hope at the end of the episode. You know what I mean? So I'm enjoying those as well. But the thing that I like about this is, even though we've gotten advanced enough to where we can colonize other planets like Mars and the Belt, and we've gone out into space to colonize, we're still shitty people. We just moved on to other planets and took all of our problems with us and started more shit out in space. I love that about this. You know what I mean? It's like you see things happen, you always understand everybody's motivation because there's so many characters in this show that you can identify with. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and we discussed it earlier. What's so great is that, about the old star, like DS9, uh, Star Trek, is good guys do bad things for good reasons. Bad guys do bad things for good reasons, and then good guys, it's all those, all. I've always liked that, the scales, you know, because it literally is, you're okay, you're doing a good thing, but it's for the wrong reason.
Right.
You're doing the good thing for the right reason, and
That
they
was
go back and forth.
one of the things that attracted me to the show is the same thing that attracted me to the newer Battlestar Galactica is that the good guys don't always make the right decisions. They make a decision, they don't always make the right one, and even when they make a bad decision, they have to live with it and they have to work within the confines of that bad choice that they made.
Yep, and
Which
that is.
which makes you more attached to these characters because you're like everybody has done something in their life that they just absolutely royally effed up with. You know what I mean? It's like, and you have to live with that. You made a bad choice or you took a wrong turn somewhere, and you feel for them. So when these people get in danger, it's like you're with them, man. Like you
Oh
feel
yeah.
it. And some of these characters are just straight up crazy. So, and I think you know who I'm talking about. Some of my favorite damn characters. I found some gifs earlier here. Like this guy. Okay, he's a psychopath. All right, he's the good guy, but he doesn't give a fuck. All right. So you know what I mean? Like he's literally just completely detached. And but he's an interesting character. I mean, he has his own set of values. So I mean,
Well, and I think that's what's so great about the world building in it, is that his allegiance is unquestionable.
yeah.
He will sacrifice himself
If he says he's
for.
going to do something, he's going to do it. He
Yeah.
will do it. He's not bluffing. You know what I mean?
No,
So
and that's what because he reminds me of myself. He reminds me of people I know, that when they, their word is their bond. He's he doesn't care. I don't care if there's a brick wall in my way, if that's what I have to go through to for my friends, for my family, for me keeping my word. I'm gonna bloody well do it, and heaven help you if you get in my way, because I will have no mercy. And that's his mentality, and that's why I was so attracted to that character, because I see so much of it. It's black or white. You either are or you are not. You're either with me or you're against me.
no,
Here
and
we
these guys
go.
are in the story in this is what I like too because it's like the first season especially, it's a detective story.
It is.
It's mostly a detective story, and I like that. I love Tom Jane in this the first season. Just
Yeah,
absolutely.
he
And
was
I'm going to get into
really
this more in the future. I'm going to do my actual like review of the series, but Tom Jane, you spend a lot of time
that
with him, and
that man.
it's old school Philip Marlowe investigation, and it happens to be the people that he's investigation has ties to things that are going on in space.
I,
You
I'm
know,
I'm I'm gonna say this: the first Altered Carbon with him in it was the best, hands down, best show for a long time.
well, Tom
Because
Jane wasn't in Altered Carbon. You're thinking
was
of
it? Who was that?
you're thinking of the guy from RoboCop, the remake of RoboCop. That was him.
Was it? I thought it was
Different
Tom.
actor. I'll get his name for you in a second.
Um,
I'm
they
really
look
bad
so
with
much
names
alike.
tonight. Yeah, he was. I'll agree that he was. The first season, Altered Carbon, was great. The second season, not so much because all the actors that you liked from the first one are replaced with different people because
except
of
for except for
the AI.
the AI. And honestly, I watched the entire second season for him.
Yeah, I did too.
Eh,
I just didn't care for it. You're thinking of why can I not remember his name right now? Joel Kinnaman is the guy you're thinking of.
okay,
Yeah.
they look
Tom
so much
Jane is in the
alike.
Expanse. Tom Jane was the guy that played the 2004 Punisher.
Okay, that's who I.
Yeah,
Okay,
Joel Kid. They do look similar. I'll give
apologies.
you that. But yeah, Joel Kinnaman is much younger than Tom Jane. So,
Well, Tom Jane is an actor.
oh yeah,
I'll watch him. I mean, honestly, that was until John Bergman or what's his name, Barenthal.
yeah,
That Thomas Jane was the best Punisher
yep.
I've seen.
I do. I liked him as the Punisher. I was disappointed that the Punisher had such a lousy villain. I would have picked anybody but John Travolta. I would have even picked Will Patton to play the villain.
Oh, John Travolta was at the
John
height.
Travolta was a lousy villain, and I think they put him in there because, like you said, he was a higher name actor, and they were trying to bring
John Travolta.
put butts in seats. But
I'm sorry, that man can't act his way out of a paper
no,
sack.
he's not good.
Dishonest
He's
for
really
him.
not good, man. Yeah, it was just that's for another stream. But
Yeah, I'm sorry.
that's okay. Back to back to the Expanse.
Give me one
Yeah,
second. I'll be right back.
no problem. But yeah, I like the fact that this show has, you know, when I first started watching this, the first season, it took me a while to get through it because it does drag a little bit in the beginning. This is not pew pew pew, good versus evil, straightforward space opera. This is actual, like, intrigue. It's mystery solving. It's problem solving. It's international espionage. There's bureaucracy going on. All of this is squeezed into the same show, and you're not necessarily following the show through one character. Although you're first introduced to Tom Jane, you do spend a lot of times with other characters, and all of the story eventually, by the time it all folds together, it starts to make sense. You start getting really committed, and then the second and third season it keeps ramping up, and by the end of the fourth season, most of the main characters that were in this show, I felt very attached to them. They felt like family to me. So I was really attached. I'm like really antsy for season 5. I'm glad that there's going to be a 5 and a 6. I don't see this as a loss, but as Flaris had said earlier, this show's been through a lot of adversity already. I mean, it was canceled and then it came back. So it could very well come back again. There's an audience for this show. There were search results for this show. There was. I have stats to prove that people are interested in this program. You know what I mean? So whether or not they rewatch it all the time remains to be seen because streaming is kind of a strange thing. You can't really measure it like you can with the Nielsen ratings. It's like only the streaming platform knows how many times it was viewed or downloaded or what's going on. But I'm telling you, if you have been thinking about watching The Expanse, definitely sit down and watch it. watch it in 4K. This is a fantastic show to watch in 4K. The
Yes.
special effects are just amazing. They really do a lot of attention to detail when it comes to. Oh, Leo Red says, "I blame you
Oh,
for getting me hooked on the show, and now it's going to be canceled." But Leo, you have 6 seasons, dude. For a science fiction show, that's pretty damn good.
it is because
It
you
really,
really
I mean, the original Star Trek, the one that everybody bases everything on, the original Star Trek was only 3 seasons long.
and they had to fight to get that.
They had to fight to get that, and that's back when, but that's
Cancel
back when seasons were like 20 some episodes long too. So
Yeah, after the first season, they canceled that. They canceled Star Trek.
yeah, Star Trek actually made an original pilot with Jeffrey Hunter that never even got aired. They actually recycled all that footage and put it into a 2-part episode called The Menagerie, Part 1 and 2. Because Jeffrey Hunter died by the time they filmed a second pilot. The second pilot was Where No Man Has Gone Before with William Shatner. So, and they showed the pilot as the 3rd episode when they debuted this stuff. So
Talk about
it's crazy, okay? It's crazy how science fiction works. Yeah, they don't know. They didn't necessarily always show these things in order because old TV shows were not linear. They were, each episode was its own story. Which sometimes I miss that, but then there's sometimes where I watch an episode like, yeah, I could have done without that one. You know, every show every show I know has at least 1 or 2 dumb episodes. There's no perfect TV show. You know what I mean? There's some that are close, but even you know, Breaking Bad has 1 bad episode, and you know what? That 1 bad episode is directed by Ryan Johnson. No bullshit. It's the one where the entire episode is them trying to chase a fly in the meth lab. Yeah, Ryan Johnson directed that one. So thank him for that. Yeah, if it's not for, you know, destroying you know, Star Wars as well. But yeah,
oh, hey, at least it's not J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams is good at rebooting things. He's not good at anything else.
He's
It's
not
kind of
an
like
thinker.
I always say Rob Zombie is. I got to be careful how I say this because every time I talk about Rob Zombie, I get banned from social media. But Rob Zombie likes to remake the Texas
Hey,
Chainsaw
send
Massacre.
Nick the link.
There he is. Okay, Nick's going to join with us here for a second, so bear with me. Looks like Pete decided to have a stick within his time frame for a change. Thanks, Pete. So, 1 second, we're going to get Nick from the World Class Bullshitters up in here. Let's see. Go ahead, Flair. Say something. Entertain the audience. Yeah.
Well, I can start singing show tunes.
Yeah, we actually were just going to do a show tonight and do show tunes, but we decided that at the last minute that was a terrible idea. So,
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm going to say this about the Expanse, that you really do buy, like as you were saying, you buy into the characters. I mean, even when they change the character, you know, I've said this multiple times on multiple streams that they you know, they gender switched the Marine, the Martian Marine, and you know, I thought that was a great way to take a different look at something. He made it fresh. You know, I really enjoyed that, and you know, we always hear about how we don't like strong characters. That Martian Marine is a strong female character, you know, and my God,
she's
is she a
fun.
gorgeous woman.
She's fun. Yeah, she's very fun. I don't know who this woman is or where she came from, but I look on her career with great enthusiasm. I really do, because like that's one thing I liked about Battlestar Galactica is, you know, Katie Sackhoff is Starbuck. I mean, I became a fan. Like I was right away. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Tam from the World Class Bullshitters.
Hey, how's
What's
it going,
on,
ladies and
dude?
gentlemen?
We're just
Holy
sitting here-
shit!
we're just
Trying
sitting
to up my status right now by doing 2 streams tonight.
It's
Well,
like
Nick-
Beetlejuice says. This is why I never do 2 shows a night, babe.
Hey man, I got nothing but time these days because you know
Yeah, I know, right? We're just
Yeah.
sitting here fanboying about the Expanse, and like I was saying, it's a shame that they're going to cancel after season 6. But as I was saying to Flair in the audience, I don't see that as any kind of a something to be ashamed of. 6 seasons for a science fiction show in this day and age is an achievement.
Especially one as big as that one is and as grand as the universe is, they've done really good. And from what I keep hearing, because I haven't read the books, I've only read up to book 4, which is about the last season we had. And that was fairly accurate to this, but I mean I understand they have to make it for TV, so. But from what I keep hearing from the fan groups I'm in is that that's a good stopping point for that, because at books I think 6 or 7 there's a time jump to like 30 years in the future.
Yeah,
for the last few books.
So what that could mean is they could actually pick this up later if they wanted to reboot it later and even bring back the same cast, or
Yeah,
or not even reboot it, but give it time to breathe for people to find it, to come to love it like they did Battlestar Galactica. Because
yeah, I was just thinking of that. Battlestar Galactica had that weird in between season where they did a time jump, and it was like, oh, so that happened.
Yeah,
well, and it's also the if you look at Battlestar Galactica as kind of a template for this, it wasn't assured that Battlestar Galactica was going to finish when it was, because the writer was like, I want to leave it hanging, and he literally walked out and said, yeah, I'm done.
jeez.
And it was it really became interesting, that someone else came in and kind of took his story over and wrote it for an ending. And they're talking about bringing it back again for like a kind of a run, and it's like, I don't want them to do that, but I can see where in the book cycles it would really behoove them to kind of let it breathe for maybe a couple of years, and Amazon pick it back up for that 7th season.
Or by then there could be a new. By the way, does my voice sound better? I just saw somebody in the chat said that I'm lower than everybody else. Better or worse?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking earlier, because I had you cranked up.
Do I sound better now?
Not really.
Okay, I need to work on this.
Yeah, you're fine. I mean, it could be the connection to your mic. It could be unselected or whatever. But well, God, I got to show you guys that this is how much of a nerd I am. All right, this is the screen on my phone.
How about now? Better?
Nice.
And then if I do, hold on, if I do this and put my
Wait, let me see that screen again.
oh God, here. There you go.
But
yeah, okay, that's a cool one.
And then my actual background is different. You'll know exactly what it is once I show it to you. Oh God.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah.
The lady in the one that's behind me, I had on my phone forever, like the astronaut face with.
Yeah. I'm actually going to get an MCRN silicone case for my phone, because I identify with the Martian colonial whatever, I forget, Martian colonial Marines.
Oh, those guys are your jam, huh?
Yeah. I see myself as a Martian. I'm not OPA. I'm definitely not OPA. I'm not an Earther for sure. So.
The other thing is, I have kind of a soft spot for that one OPA lady that was dancing with Nora.
Drummer.
Drummer, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for her. Yeah, she's just kind of cute.
Yeah, drummer's another one they switched genders with, and it worked out fine.
Something about her, yeah.
I'm kind of the I'm not OPA, but I'm not. I don't think I really fit with any of either the Martians or the Earthers. So I'm along the lines of the crew of the Rockinade, where I kind of give them all the finger and go, you know what? I'm over here. Flarex
is over there in Tycho Station, just fucking and gambling. That's all you're doing, buddy.
Why not? I mean, I've got nothing better to do.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Waiting for that Mormon ship to fucking take off.
Okay, I have the gain all the way up. Any better? Still the same?
Still the same.
Turn off. I think it's in the settings of the audio. Turn off automatic. What is it? Automatic adjust
It's
mic
off.
volume.
I've got the volume all the way up to 200.
Okay, I don't know. You sound fine to me.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I think I watched I watched the 3 seasons of this show on Sci-Fi like last year, 2 years ago, and it was at a really low point because I really hated Star Wars. I didn't want to deal with it anymore because I'm on the the World Class Bullshitters channel and we always talk about it. And just being down about it, I was like, man, I need some good sci-fi. So I was like, I'll try the Expanse because I kept seeing commercials for it, and I fucking loved it, man. I fell for it like 2 episodes in. I'm like, this is awesome. And it was just
because it was literally the book. I mean, I thought it was a better I think it was the visualization. There's so few shows where the visualization I have in my head is equaled on screen.
Right.
But they did that. And
they did.
And then the second season came back with more of that. And it was like, oh my God, please don't ever stop.
yeah. And like, that's how, like, after watching the 3 seasons, I got the books and read them. And and that's how I learned more about the characters and the more details and things, of the story. And I loved it even more because they did such a good job of like taking the book and making it into a show. And like, it seems like the writers were working good with the producers to make the show as good as possible.
They literally, the writers sat down with the author and literally said, how do we do this the right way? And so he said, we need to bring an astrophysicist in. We need to do all the science, the heavy science stuff, and do that heavy lifting. And he was the one that brought it in. And it blows my mind at how good it was, his recommendation, and it worked so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the way the ships are made, the way that they're
how are you along the lines of the Mormons? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, because they're the ones who want to shoot themselves to the nearest star. There's Alpha Centauri. I forget. It may have been Alpha Centauri, or whatever. But it's like a 100-year journey they want to go on to find like their god or something.
They just jack their ship and turn it
into a goddamn missile.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm glad that I stuck with it. By the way, am I still low?
No, you're fine now, man.
Still fine. Okay, so I just had to leave and turn everything all the way up and come back in.
Yeah, that's StreamYard for you.
StreamYard for you. So I'm glad I stuck it out though, because like I said, there was a lot of world building, but by the time I got to season 3, I want to say, actually pretty much season 2, middle of season 2, I started getting really addicted to it. Like I'm like, okay, this is like so much better. Things are changing. It's not always okay. Cool. Leo says I'm better now. So yeah, I've got the volume of everything turned all the way up. So, but yeah, I got really attached to the characters. I like how the story changes. It's not just like one thing over the course of several seasons. Like each season is kind of its own thing. The thing I liked about season 1 though was how everything, like all of the different characters, all of the stories kind of weave together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's I was like, oh, that was a really nice setup. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, yeah, because they all ended up on that transport ship alone, but they had to like kind of fend for themselves with Naomi really, trying to wire shit
really
together.
Scary shit. You know what I mean? And
yeah, because I mean, like they really convey to you the idea of like oxygen, space, the resources. They're fucking minimal. We can't live without them. I mean, even in the first few episodes, you see. When the Canterbury explodes, it affects what is it? Ceres Station. I think Ceres or Eros. Is it Ceres?
Oh, Ceres. Excuse me, Ceres Station.
Yeah, Ceres Station because they need water. and they're saying, "Oh, the transport wasn't there," and and then all of a sudden you have James Holden blaming Mars, like in a solar system wide broadcast.
And like Flair and I were saying, even though everybody's advanced now, they're still people acting like people we know now. It's like
Yeah.
doing the things that humans naturally would do, assuming shit, jumping to conclusions, starting riots
Jumping
over
the
the
shark.
shit.
Yeah.
I love how all the riots break out on Sirius Station. It's like, oh, they, and all of a sudden, James Holden's turned into this martyr for the cause and all this stuff.
God.
And James Holden's like, I don't even know these people. What the hell? I like the fact that our heroes are not like the chosen one. You know what I mean? Like, these are normal
definitely.
fucking people that have made some bad choices in the past. They got demons. They make bad decisions. They have a code of ethics that they follow, which is what makes them the hero. Otherwise, you can't have a show with no protagonist. Rob Zombie. But, you have to have at least somebody you're rooting for. But I like that. You know what I mean? Even the bad guys, some of them come around at some point.
No, Leo, I have to eat at some point, and it's not my cat's food. I swear.
Yeah, he just came back from a very long work day out in the cold. He works outside, so as I told him, as long as you're if you're eating on stream, as long as you're not smacking the food in the microphone, which he never does, I'm cool with it. So, you know what I mean? I haven't streamed in like 2 weeks.
It's kind of hard not to eat.
I'm having withdrawal from not streaming for so long. Like, I'm like going stir crazy here. So if the holidays put all of us out of like,
dude, God. Man. Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like the holidays. I think for me, anyways, this year a little bit harder because like it's 2020, it's been shit. I'm just like, ugh. But also with Thanksgiving being over, that means that Christmas is on its way and the year's almost done. And I hope that it's gonna be kind of better. Next year.
Well, Nick, that's why this weekend we're doing a movie called Battle Queen 2020 because I want to hurry up and do that movie before 2020 is over because then it's not going to be funny anymore. But
that's true.
Also,
well, no. It'll be even funnier when you do Battle Queen 2020 and 2025. I'm just saying it'll be real funny.
But also, I'm afraid that YouTube's going to take the movie down if we don't hurry up and watch it. So that's true. Tentatively planned for this weekend. I'll have a backup in case YouTube does yank it down, but. Yeah, Battle Queen 2020
make 2 pictures as well, man, just in case, because you don't know. You just finicky these days, man. It's
Nick, I have a template, so I can just drop the image and change it out and move the faces around if I need to. I have a template. I finally wised up to that shit. I'm like, no, I can't do this again. No, yeah, I simplified that shit a long time ago.
Awesome. Yeah, but dude, yeah, I love the Expanse. Yeah, I actually got the art book. Should I go bring the art book and show that on camera as well?
Yeah,
okay, all right. I'm gonna turn off my camera for a second. I'll be back, but I'll bring it here.
This was also one of the first shows that I got to watch in 4K. Like the first sci-fi show I got to watch in 4K. Like for a long time there, I was getting irritated because like Netflix is one of the few things that would stream things in 4K. And what did they stream at first? Comedy specials, stand-up comedy. Why do you need to see stand-up comedy in 4K? I don't need to see every pore of Patton Oswalt's face or Jim Gaffigan or Jerry Seinfeld. That doesn't work. It's a waste of good 4K. It's like when I think 4K, I think of things with like a lot of imagery, nature footage. The Expanse is full of all these like worlds and things like that. And, just the stuff from the backdrop and the things that happen in space are great too because Expanse does one of those things that we know that we always talk about in Star Wars. Things are not supposed to make noise in space, but they put that in there for dramatic effect. The Expanse makes sure they keep that where there's no noise. Like they'll burn something and, putting on the thrusters is like a big deal, Yeah.
I think that, it really strikes me that the Expanse takes logistics into account, and so very few sci-fi actually do full logistics. It's like, well, we need to stock up on this, we need to stock up on that, we need this and that, and they're being true to true to science. Where
I almost lost the train of thought there.
Yeah, I saw the porn in 4K. I'm like,
I heard a little birdie told me somewhere that Nick watches his porn in VR. So could be, you know.
Listen, man, listen. All right, 2020 has been a hell of a year, and
I'm not judging.
I need my me time. Okay, I need my self care, as the internet likes to say all this goddamn time.
Cyber Monday, Nick. I was actually looking at VR headsets today. I don't make that kind of money, man. You know what I'm saying? That's like a whole paycheck for one HTC
dude,
Vive,
there was a tutorial I saw on how to like use a certain headset for a certain type of video, so this way, you know, you could get the full effect. And I was tempted to do it, but then I was like, that's a lot of fucking work just to kind of, you know, satisfy myself, if you want to say that. So yeah, it was yeah, it was kind of like this is a little much,
Yeah, the HTC Vive I think is like $7.99 for like the base kit.
Weird,
you know
dude.
what I mean? I'm like,
it's fucking weird. But yeah. Let me put my mic to the side here.
All right, let me give you a single here so you can show this artwork off.
Yeah, see, this is it.
There we go.
Expanse, and you know well, hold on. Yeah, you know who that is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know exactly who that is. Okay, and let's see. Let's open to a random page or somewhere in the beginning.
Love it. I absolutely love the tech on this ship because it reminds me a lot of the games that I played. You know.
Let's see here. Kind of go through a little bit more.
Destiny comes to mind. Yeah, that's great. That's great. This is the kind of stuff that you're seeing in this. If you're not watching this show, these are the things that you're missing out on in 4K. There you go.
Yeah, there are the ships and everything.
Yep.
all right.
The something Israel. I forget like some of the names as well, but let's see. Yeah, here's some of the behind the scenes stuff.
I love when they finally get to the Rosinante and he discovers coffee. He's never had.
Oh
coffee.
my god, because he wants good
winks
coffee.
Out over coffee, so that
Only
they've
40
actually.
bucks? Ooh.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love stuff like this. I have a lot of these kind of books for Star Wars, old Star Wars, like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and stuff. Even some Phantom Menace stuff.
You'll have me for this, but never.
There we go.
Cool stuff, man. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I got it. It was in my bookstore the other day. I was trying to pick up some of this. Oh my god, dude, that's nice. It's still in its packaging too.
Still in the shrink wrap. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't opened it because I love it so much. I've always loved D&D, so it's Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman were the first authors, the first sci-fi authors, other than Anne McCaffrey of Dragon Riders of Pern that I got into. So for me, this is like it's the holy grail. I don't want to open it up and ruin it. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Leia read Amos Mix show. He does. I actually met him at Dragon Con last year.
Nice.
And he signed the small roasty I have over here. Super nice guy.
By the way,
very
Leo,
very cool, dude.
This one's for you. Well, let me take off your because you can't see the. They got that one. And I found another one earlier too. Yeah, he has some of the best lines. Yeah, he does make the show. I like interesting characters like that. I like every show that has like the red herring. I would say he's that guy.
And I don't know if Flare X read did you read the novella called The Churn? I think it was about his backstory.
I actually talked Leo Red into watching the show the way that you talked me into watching it, Nick.
Got you.
So,
I honestly have to pick that up. I've been slacking.
That's fine.
It's because I honestly love that character. I really connect with him because he's very, very, very.
I mean,
direct.
Flair, you're like fucking Abe Sapien from Hellboy. You read like 4 books at a time. I don't know how you can call that slacking, but okay.
Yeah, because
so.
Yeah, because the novella I think is like 300 pages, maybe 600 pages. Not very much, but it's his story about him being in Baltimore and how he became who he was. So
how he became half crazy.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Give me 1 second here.
No problem.
Is it? What's it called again?
I think it's called The Churn, because he mentions the churn when he talks to that spy that's on their ship from the Tachi station. The one
James,
with the
say Corey, the churn.
yeah.
Oh, it's only $2.99 in Kindle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not. Yeah, it shouldn't be much. But yeah, it's his backstory. It's Amos's backstory.
Well, guess what?
You got it. Did you buy it?
I will be reading it.
You'll be catching up.
Well, there's so many. What I love about James Corey is that he really does give you that fleshed out. He gives you the backstories. He gives you that world. I mean, you don't really need it, but he gives it to you in case you're someone like him who loves the story and wants to know more. And that to me is an amazing thing.
Yeah, they write really well. Their writing is never boring. Every now and again, I think in the first 2 books has gotten quite technical when it goes to the ships. Sometimes it'll be extremely technical for the ships, because I think there's in one of the books, I think it's like the third one or second one, where Holden is talking to Christian Avasarala, and he's describing to her what are all the weapons mean, like the railgun, the other, and like what the acronyms mean for them and what they do. And that's like a little bit of a tail end of a chapter, but I think that's interesting. But it's also like a lot of technical data that has to go around.
If you remember, for Star Trek, they created encyclopedias of all that data.
I need to get an updated Star Trek encyclopedia. The only thing is, though, that's going to piss me off, I want to get something before CBS All Access. You know what I mean? I don't want that shit.
Man,
No. I'm sure you can find some stuff on eBay for sure that's
right.
been like
I want something like post Enterprise. You know what I mean? Like because I disavow all of that CBS All Access shit.
Okay, Adam.
Nothing to do
had
with it.
you said something 3 months ago? I had an original Star Trek. It was post Enterprise, but it had DS9 in it. It had
Voyager.
It was before Voyager.
Oh, okay. See, I want something that includes Voyager and Enterprise, because I don't want to acknowledge anything that CBS All Access is doing.
How about that one? How about the Enterprise? How about that series? Do you acknowledge it, or?
I'm gonna watch it. I'm
Okay.
gonna watch it.
Okay.
I'm going through Voyager now. I just finished season 1.
Okay?
Gotcha. And I'll have to stop and rewatch Expanse so we can get through these reviews, because we got to barrel these things out over the next.
Hey man, I'm here. I'm here to do it. I'm here to play, man. Let's do it, because I love the show.
2 videos this week, and we're gonna do, each video will be an entire season's review. What I want to get into right now, though, is we're gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon, but I just want to speculate where we think season 5 is gonna go. I haven't watched any trailers, so I don't really know, because I want to avoid spoilers as much as possible.
Other than the season 5 trailer you just showed on screen.
Did I show the trailer? I did.
Because the way 4 ended was pretty intense.
4 ended with what's his name floating out in space, which I thought was just insane. It was just absolutely insane. Like the main OPA guy, the one that was the main season 4. He was great, by the way. That guy was fucking awesome. And then if I'm not mistaken, isn't that Naomi's ex-husband that's like the villain now?
Correct. And his and her son is working for him as well. Yes. And it seems like they're hurling stealth asteroids towards Earth, which I'm just like,
that's right.
Holy shit.
Yeah, shit's about to get real in season 4.
Nick,
or 5.
What's up, man?
Something I want your opinion on, because as the fandom menace, as a collective group, we're always told that we hate strong women, we hate these characters. I want your opinion on this, because we all love The Expanse, and it has some very, very strong characters that are female in it that were intentionally changed out from the book, from the book series to the TV show. and not one of us give a damn about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great story, you know, and I'd really like to hear what your opinion is on you know, this whole motif of we're evil.
Oh yeah, I mean, and trust me, apparently the World Class Bullshiters is an alt right podcast. Who knew?
Well, duh.
Yeah, who knew? I mean, shit, I didn't get the fucking memo. Nobody sent it to me. But
And
no, I mean,
it came
and
with the registration packet that I got in the mail.
Jesus.
It's welcome to the alt right, world class bullshit. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry,
where's my
Jeff,
receipt?
I
Damn it,
had
where's my
to.
receipt? No, and like, you know, I'm a huge fan of the Expanse. It seems like some people in the group are as well. I think a couple of people are, which is fun. I always love talking about it. I love the show. It's, you know, it's a really good show. One thing I do love is that they never call to attention, oh, we're diverse, oh, we have female characters. They just made the best show they could. They made the best sci-fi show they could, and they cast people they did. You have, I think 5 strong female characters: Drummer, Avasarala, Naomi Nagata, Drummer, and Bobby Draper. I think that's 5 of them.
She would be my second favorite. Yeah.
We'll count that. We'll accept that.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, like, and you have, you know, various races and creeds of people as well, which, I mean, once again, they don't call attention to. It's just part of the show, and that's why I like it. I mean, personally, I love diversity. I really do. But I like it when it's done like this, where it's like it's not called out. It's not like put a spotlight on just to watch it because of this.
It's not the
You're
focus
watching
of the show. Yeah,
exactly.
The
You're
focus
watching.
of the show is the story, and these characters are there to service the story.
Exactly. The story is what's awesome, and they've made an awesome show. And these people just seem like they're part of this universe that they've created that feels very lived in, and that's what I love about it. Is because, like, it's a diverse show. It's sci-fi. We can all get behind it. It's a really, really good show. And I think the sad thing is because it's such I don't know what it is, but it seems like not a lot of people are getting onto the Expanse right now. I think once it ends, people are going to really, really clamor onto it and really want.
Following, isn't it? Yeah,
it's going to be hell is that one show? God damn it, Firefly.
Yeah.
It's going to be Firefly over again, where like the fan base will expand as time goes on. Once season 6 ends,
it'll expand. I see what you did there, Nick.
You got it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what's going to happen, because it's like once again, when I went to talk about Dragon Con again last year, God, it was so much fun to be around people and to be outside. There were a ton of people dressed as OPA, dressed as Earthers, dressed as MCRN in their uniforms, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, this is crazy." And I think even then there were people. One thing I missed, you know, during that weekend was they were doing classes to learn Belter, and I missed it because I slept in. And I was like, I wanted to do that because that seems like fucking fun, because I want to learn. I want to at least learn the hand signals and like a few of the words and things like that, because I think that's hilarious. I think that's good.
It's good whenever a science fiction show has its own language developed. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you'll hear me say it every now and again, frack. Because you know, I want.
It's addictive. Yeah.
And it's, you know, the phraseologies and all this different stuff. You know, you buy into it, and that's what I truly love about this show. It's so, you know, about the Expanse, is that why I say it's going to be given time to breathe. I think honestly, this is better than Firefly.
This is what Firefly wanted to be.
Firefly's problem is it's riddled with that Joss Whedon humor. You know what I mean? Like it beats you over the head. And the Expanse has its humor too, but it in small doses. You know what I mean? And
the humor
to give you some breath. You know?
Yeah, and the humor usually comes from Amos, the biggest badass in the fucking solar system. There.
Well, and it's not. It's dark humor.
It's
like if you're sitting around, you know, a locker room, you know, with a bunch of guys, and it's, you know, oh, someone farted. Who's farted in space?
One of the biggest shocks that got me in the first season is right after we're introduced to the guy that Thomas Jane got his hat from, like that guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to become a major character on the show, or at least be on there a lot longer. And then like 2 or 3 episodes later,
Well, that's why it isn't. That's why it is in the book as well. I mean, he's more of an asshole in the book, from what I remember.
Yeah.
He's not that much of an asshole in the show, but he's like a giant douche in the book, and he gets killed pretty much the same way in the book. I think something maybe kind of similar or whatever.
I didn't see it coming. I thought for sure that he was going to be like at least around for like a better part of his season. Like, nope, we're done with this.
Yeah,
guy.
and I mean, like the same thing happened where Miller finds out who kills him, and he gets real distraught about it, and he's real mad about it. But he's still like, it's still a thing. So
because they were building up that guy's backstory and everything, and I'm like, oh, he's going to be like a regular character because you just spent like the last half an hour or so building up this guy's backstory. Why? It's a nice fake out, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
heavily of Robert Jordan and the Wheel of Time series, the books, because he introduces characters that are only in his books for one book, or even not even the entire book, but just kind of they're crucial characters for keeping the story moving forward. And that's what I love about Corey is he does the same thing. Is he'll put a crucial character in there, but he's only in there for 3-4 chapters.
Just to keep you on your toes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to keep the story rolling forward so it doesn't metastasize into the same tried and true tropes that sci-fi seems to fall into a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, and like this, and I'm glad the show doesn't do that because I mean, and this show feels very real to me. Like in the next 500 years to 1,000 years, we're gonna be there. Almost is the way it feels, and I do love that. I do love the science fiction, science aspect of it because, like they're talking about space mining and things like that, and literally we're beginning the process of space mining in our timeline now.
We're already seriously considering Mars. Yeah. So
we're seriously considering Mars. They've found water on the moon. They're going to put a moon base on there in the next 5 or 6 years. Like they've already got the schematics. They're wanting to do it.
They've also been, talking as far ahead as expanding out to Europa, Saturn, because Europa has a very good water source. There, it has a lot of minerals, and it can sustain, life on that moon. It's like that's really cool.
One of the things that fascinates me about science fiction, which is why it's always my favorite jam, is when you go back and you watch an old sci-fi movie from 50s, 40s, 70s, watching certain sci-fi movies and seeing how much of those things are accurate to things that are relevant now.
Exactly.
Wow, that dude predicted that thing that we have now. Because science fiction is directly an influence on technology, and most people that make gadgets grew up watching sci-fi, and they want to make those things. People want to make transporters, they want to make communicators, they want to make phasers, they want to make fucking warp speed engines and shit like that. I mean, they want to build these things. They want these things to exist so badly that they will problem solve and find a way to make these things exist. But
as far as Jules Verne, 20,000
he invented nuclear subs. He predicted nuclear subs hundreds of years before they came out.
And a lot of his other works, he talked about space travel before people had even gotten away from internal combustion.
Even H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, as much as it pisses people off the way that ended, it made sense that a microscopic organism would actually destroy alien life because they didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? That is something that happened in the past when people went to conquer lands. They caught influenza. They died from it because they didn't have any immunity in their body to repel it.
Here in the United States.
That's true. Who wrote From the Earth to the Moon?
Oh, I think that was Jules Verne.
It sounds like it might be.
Okay, then he's the one who predicted space travel. I think the only thing that's different is I think he envisioned a gun as opposed to a rocket, but it was basically the same thing. And I think they tried making a gun like, in the 70s and shooting a satellite into space. It worked. It was really inefficient, but it worked.
It did what they said it was going to do.
Yeah.
I think what we'll do, we're going to wrap this show up. But what expectations do you guys have from? Because you guys know what's going to happen in the next season because you read the books.
Well, no, I know. I only here's my thing. I only read the books of the season after I've watched it.
Oh,
I don't read ahead because I don't want spoilers. I want to be surprised by the show because I love the show and I love the characters and the whole motif of it. I love the whole thing.
So let's speculate, not spoil. What are your expectations for season 5?
It's going to be It's going to be probably one of the most tense seasons ever, because you have Amos going back to Baltimore, from what I've heard. You have the whole thing with the stealth asteroids coming in. You have what's her name? Naomi dealing with her past in a very, very destructive way, and then having Holden also deal with her past as well. Everything's on the line. The ring's still open. The OPA's there. They're trying to take over the whole solar system. Like, it's going to be worse than probably the whole Ganymede station debacle.
Yeah, that was rough.
Like, that was bad with the mirrors and everything and the way that happened. But this is going to be worse, and it's going to be a lot more tense the whole season.
It's going to be. I kind of see it, and I'm trying to stay away from my knowledge of the book. Yeah. So it's really hard. So I'm going to say I think there's going to be open warfare. That they've been trying to keep away from that for so long, through all these seasons.
Well, I think they wanted to distance the show from like Star Wars and Star Trek, because all those shows are just pew 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 laser shit now. It's not any deep science fiction story to it,
But I think it's going to be there's going to be a couple of curveballs.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in every season, and you love it when it happens, because it literally.
Especially if I don't predict it. But sometimes when I predict it, it's still.
Of course,
it's fun.
No, come on! I knew the entire first
season before. One of my favorite characters, for real. I can't pronounce her name. I'm not going to try to pronounce her name, but you know who I'm talking about. This little Jim Dandy.
Oh, right Christian Avasarala. Yeah.
Okay, I knew you would be able to pronounce her name. I can't. Okay, I'm not going to try because I butcher everybody's name even when I shouldn't. She is so fucking fun on this show.
Dude, yeah, because like when I first
shit,
when I first saw her and do her thing out, and especially I think it was like, I think it's her character really cemented whenever I saw her during the Mars Earth talks when Bobby Draper was there after the whole Ganymede station thing, and she's like, whatever the fuck you like. I was like, that's it. That's my character.
Got that addictive like tone to her voice, and I always think of her as Ikora Ray from Destiny. I'm like, oh, that's Ikora Ray, So, but she's great. She's like one of my favorite characters on the show for sure.
What I love about her is she is such a realist that she understands. She makes me think of Firefly the movie, Serenity.
Yeah.
Where the main protagonist understands himself, that he goes, I'm a zealot. I know I won't be in heaven.
Yeah. Well, and
her in a nutshell. If you ask me, that she knows that she's not going to be in heaven, because
I like characters like that. They're the most dangerous because, they're so laser focused that she is not going to give a single fuck what you throw at her. She's gonna get whatever she wants.
And that's very true, because I think what is in the first few episodes when she talks to her friend who's going to go to the Mars Mariner Valley, her older friend, and she says something to him, so he calls Mars, and then they do their little surveillance thing. It's like they figured out that they have nine places on the planet where they're storing parts for ships as opposed to 6 beforehand, and the UN was like, oh, they're trying to start a war, and they're wanting to check all their stocks. And she's like, nope, they're checking for their stealth material, making sure it's all there, because she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was talking to that guy
So,
about, and wanting to trigger him to do something.
Classic manipulator, you know, and
And-
it's
and-
exactly
and-
all political powers have these people, even today.
Yeah, and
you know?
and the most dangerous thing is that she did it to her best friend of like
oh,
40 fucking years.
childhood,
That's
yeah.
she knew the and you know, even in that episode she knew the guy when she was this little girl and he was a little younger man, and the fact that she did that to her, did it to him, tells you that she is willing to put human life above her own fucking relationships.
Yeah.
You know, just to make sure that we all can breathe and eat and work and survive.
I feel so bad for her husband. I'm like, how did you get fucked up? But then it's like, you know, she is beautiful, so whatever.
She's quite powerful. I also love in the fourth season where she has to get fucking political and she's like, I don't want to do this, but she's got to.
Yeah,
you know.
And then that happened like right when there was an actual election going on. I'm like, I know this wasn't planned, but it's funny how this is going on when an actual election is happening at the same time. So
yeah,
those are always fun.
It was good stuff. But
like I said, here's a show that's political, it's diverse, but it doesn't make you take sides. Its politics are not our world politics; it's its own world politics. So, if you like political intrigue, this is the fucking show that you want to watch.
It's like one of my. I'm going to bring it back to books. One of my favorite authors is David Weber, because he takes what you think, you know, what the world is, and he twists it on its side, and looks at it from a different perspective. And this is why I've always wanted his books to be made into either a miniseries or a chain of movies, because he has, you know, strong characters, great writing, just awesome books.
Great show, no agenda pushing is basically what we're getting at.
But he takes the universe and shakes it like a snow globe, and then goes, okay, here's what you believe, defend it. Because it's like, if you can defend this, you're where are we going in this world? Because he wrote one of his books, he wrote the worst thing he could ever think of, which was blowing up kids or hurting kids. And while he was in the process of putting the book out, Edward R. Murrah Federal Building was blown up.
Oh, jeez.
And he had the balls to not take that scene out of that book. And he wrote a postscript to the book at publishing. And he totally denounced, and he goes, I never in a million years thought that somebody would be this depraved to go after, you know, a building with a daycare in it. You know, that's why I used it in my book, because it was so depraved. I'd never thought it would happen. But he left it in, and I respect him so much for that decision, because it shows just how culture and society sometimes is so willing to take that next step, and there's always that person.
It happens to Star Trek all the time, man. But, you know, like, perfect example in the Expanse here, you know, Ganymede Station, they're just using it as a giant petri dish for their experiment.
Yep.
I mean, like,
yeah, and I mean that was a station
that was Ganymede, that was Eros, right?
Yeah, Eros. And also, what was the other one? It was Phoebe Station was the one that was the beginning of the protomolecule.
Correct.
Near I forget. I think it's near.
Speaking of protomolecule, you guys, we're gonna end on this. The Expanse has its own Yule log. All right.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I was real happy with that.
And
I was real happy with that.
You can find this on YouTube. It's 1 hour of proto Yule log. So, you know, hey, science fiction fans, we can have a sense of humor. You know what I mean? So there you go. There's your Yule log.
That's wonderful. That's good shit. That is wonderful, good shit.
Definitely check out this channel this week. We're gonna Nick and I are gonna be doing season 1. Flair and X and I will be doing season 2 and 4. Nick and I will be doing 1 and 3. So, And I will have those out before season 5 starts. I promise. It's going to be a little rough. Some of these videos might be kind of cobbled together, but I just want to get them out there. Overall reviews of each season. I don't have time to do every single episode. Unfortunately, the holidays and this whole trip to Illinois just put everything I was doing off balance, and I'm trying to get back on track now. So, but this weekend's going to be the fun stuff. We're going to be watching Julie Strain movie called Battle Queen 2020. Lots of boobs, all right? So make sure you're there for that. So I don't know if we'll be doing any other live streams this week. I believe that the LIW stuff is on hold because Phoenix has some relatives from out of town visiting or something like that.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
really know exactly, but so it'll just be stuff on this channel this week. But I'm back. I'm here. I'm making more stuff, and look forward to those. Those won't be live streams. Those will be actual single release videos, so I can edit them up and make us look a little less stupid than we usually do. So, sound like a plan? All right.
Well,
Okay.
that's going to be a miracle.
It will be a miracle. It'll take a miracle at least. So, but anyways, Nick, thanks for joining us at the last minute. He's
Hey
on his
man,
second stream of the night.
as soon as I got off Peach and I was like, I want to talk about the Expanse a little bit. So
Right?
come over here.
I was excited to do this. I'm like, it's so much fun to just not bitch about something. For
Yeah,
an
because
hour, you know?
Pete ended a good time, and I immediately sent a message over. I was like, "Let me the fuck in. Let's do this."
I repeat when I say this, I'm not mad that the show is ending on season 6. I'm happy that there's another season coming after 5.
Yeah, I've come to terms with that over the last couple of days because as soon as I saw the headline, I almost like rage posted. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I was like,
Why?
all right. And then I went to my little Expanse group and I started talking. Like I started like going through the messages and reading the comments. I was like, okay, it seems people who are reading the books are saying that this is a logical ending. For the show.
Sci-fi, I can't stress this enough, Nick. Sci-fi never gets a fair shake, man. Never. And if you look at classic sci-fi over the years,
try being a horror fan and then talk to me, okay?
horror shows don't get a fair shake either. But yeah, sci-fi shows never get a fair shake because they're extremely expensive to make. You have to have a lot of people making convincing makeup. You have to have good writers. Those don't exist anymore. Or if they do exist, nobody wants to pay them what they're owed, so they don't work at all, or they're just too busy trying to make a political statement out of everything and use everything for a platform. So you have that. But yeah, you look at classic sci-fi shows over the years. The Star Trek, the original series, 3 seasons. Serenity, aka Firefly, 1 fucking season. 1 season and 1 movie. You know, this is not weird things here.
I kind of think of Firefly.
Twilight Zone was 5 seasons. The original Twilight Zone was 5 seasons.
Okay, you talk about old sci-fi. I mean, even the one thing I have to mention is Stargate, 10 seasons.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and then Atlantis 5, and then Universe 2 because Universe was fucking horrible. But yeah, like
that was the Stargate universe.
I'm amazed that lasted as long as it did, man. Because I for the longest time, just Stargate the movie, like the one with Kurt Russell, I used to put that on to fall asleep. I just
love that movie, man. I've got it on. I think I've got it on a couple formats. I've got it on tape, Blu-ray, and DVD, and I love that movie a lot.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying for some reason it has this narcoleptic, hypnotic effect.
Oh no, 100% it does. 100%
it made me fall asleep, like. I just be in a coma, you know.
Yeah, it's very. I think it's.
Of that.
I think it's the music that they play. It's very just like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very like it's very slow and
orchestral and kind of trance-inducing. Yeah,
exactly.
I have it on Blu-ray, Nick, just to put me out.
Yeah, but I mean, like that show got 10 seasons, which I think that. I mean, they had to keep coming up with bad guys, and it kind of worked.
The show was more successful than the movie.
You got to highlight the Polar Nights. That's love. I love that. That makes me laugh.
Oh, hello, Polar Nights. Polar Nights says, "Love the cam setup. It's like the perfect evolution of beards." Nick does have a very attractive beard.
Oh God, what can I say?
I can't do that much peach fuzz, man, because I got a lot of gray going on, buddy. So
God, we'll see. I have to have this because then if I don't, I have 3 chins, and then like I can't be seen like that. I have to have the beard.
I shaved mine off when I forgot to take the trimmer with me, and I was like, "Oh, that I forgot that's where that chin went." So
Yeah, like I have to keep this for aesthetic reasons. But no, I mean, like, yeah, dude, I was a hardcore gator there for a while. I still am because I love that show. I actually want to get a tattoo of the addresses on my arm.
I'm at the process of my life, Nick, where I'm going back and watching old sci-fi shows. Like I said, I'm going through Voyager, and then I'm gonna go through Enterprise, and then I want to watch. I bought it actually, Babylon 5. Never watched it, so I'm gonna watch all of Babylon 5. As I just
want sci-fi that did not get a lot of love.
John Carter.
True. No, I did really like that movie. I did really like that movie.
Glimpses of that movie, but I liked the special effects at least.
The visuals were amazing.
Oh, the visuals in this are amazing. I love the actors with their cast.
She grows a 70s person. Wait, hold on. You didn't know what that. Wait, hold on. How old are you, Polar Lights? And you didn't know what that meant? Seriously, buddy? Come the fuck on.
All right, I think we're gonna bring it to a close here before this gets out of control.
Don't know what that is. Come on now.
You guys have a fantastic week. We'll see you Friday. Be watching out for those reviews. 1 through 4 coming out this week and next week. Next one will be me and Nick talking about season 1. Should be out this week by Friday. So we'll see you Friday for the watch and review. That is 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel. Make sure you be there. Look us up on social media. Subscribe to the channel. All the links are in the description. Everything's there. So we'll see you next week. Yeah. Peace out, guys.
Thank you.
Well.